Hi there, it's Aprille Franks-Hunt here with Women Recharged, and this is a special episode of me reading a chapter out of my book to you because many of you have been asking. So I'm going to read chapter 3, which is Bitterness is Real, but it ain't sexy. The quote starts off in saying, "You will not be punished for your anger. You will be punished by your anger," by Buddha. Life has its way of happening to all of us. Sometimes we get into the mess of our own, and other times it just seems to find us. Oftentimes we're not ready or even expecting life's little hiccups. We could be coasting along quite nicely and then suddenly derail. When was the last time you woke up and said, "I think I want my heart broken today," or "I wish something would go just the opposite of what I'm expecting"? Just so you can spend months pissed off and years of being bitter and asking God why this mess happened to you. Unless you enjoy inflicting anguish and pain on yourself, chances are that's not the fantasy you envisioned. But life happens, right? And while it may not be anything you would have imagined, you're left standing to deal with it. The feelings of denial, rejection, shame, guilt, and numbness are all associated with being bitter and angry. Whether the root was born from your childhood, your environment, abuse, or by circumstances, it's fed by your despair. You allowed bitterness to take residence in your heart and mind. When you're so angry about that situation, all you see is red. Sometimes you just can't help but to go there kicking and screaming the entire time. At some point, we've all been bitter towards someone who has wronged us or felt has wronged us in some way. You may have every right in the world to be hurt and feel the way you do about something or some situation, but you don't want it to take root in your life. It's self-defeating, eating you from the inside out. Fueled by your inability or unwillingness to let go and forgive. It's not where you want to be, but a reality nonetheless. No one understands you or how you're feeling. No one is good enough, not a man or a new situation. Not even your closest girlfriends can carry on a decent conversation with you, because every other word out of your mouth is a negative one. The amount of energy that being bitter requires can drain the light from the sun, or put people in a position not to want to deal with or be around you. As the old saying goes, misery loves company. And even through your dating attempts, men can sense bitterness. They can smell it a mile away and read it through your online dating profiles, messages, and telephone conversations. Bitterness is an emotion that will send you in a downward spiral of self-pity. It will leave you there to wallow in it. But sometimes it seems out of your control. I must confess, I was on a celibacy journey and wanted to figure out who I was without the influence of a man in my life sexually. I had gone about 8 weeks without, which was a long time for me. I knew there was something in me that was great. I just needed to be still long enough to recognize it. I was in the mode of not wanting to be remotely entertained by any man, but this week was going to be a long one. It's Monday. I'm 19 years old and have been set up on a blind date I don't really want to go on, but my neighbor insisted. The guy she knows is too great for me to pass up, she says. So I agree after a week of her getting on my nerves to meet this man. Living on the second floor, I see him pull up in a dark blue four-door Oldsmobile. Knock, knock at the door. I'm a little nervous as I head to the door. Good nervous, antsy even. I open the door and there stands a 6'3", 245-pound, handsome, chocolate, well-built man with a nice smile. He even looks like he can pick me up. Always a side thought I have. Something about a man that can pick you up with or without your clothes on is, well, just sexy as hell. Both of us are smiling from ear to ear as we give each other a welcome hug. I invite him in, fix us a cocktail, then we talk for 4 or 5 hours right in my living room, on my floral love seat to be exact. It's one of those perfect moments you have with a guy that you just met. The moment where you can totally contradict yourself into thinking how great he is, how great he must be, but then think how screwed up he could be in the same thought. Always looking for flaws and reasons not to see him again because he can't be this nice. It can't be this right, this sweet, this perfect. But even I have to admit, it's refreshing to have some nice combo kids, past relationships, career, and my 8-week celibacy stint. He seems to be interested and tells me he's in the same place in his life and he just wants to take things slow. After the last few years I've had, taking it slow sounds real good to me. It's Tuesday. I have a flutter in my stomach, waiting for the phone to ring. The anticipation is what keeps it exciting. I love it when a man calls and shows me that I'm on his mind without me having to initiate it. We talk a couple of times throughout the day about absolutely nothing. How sweet is that? It's Wednesday. He calls and wants to see me. I tell him I'm at the laundromat and we could meet up a little later if he wants. Daniel lets me know he has to work later but just wants to see me for a little bit and offers to come where I am. I think, okay, he must really like me, right? Half an hour later, there he is, helping me with my laundry. Now, what woman wouldn't want that? And a single parent too? Think back to 19. Men at that age aren't helping with your dirty laundry. They just want to dirty your laundry. We chat a bit. He gives me $15 and a nice hug and off he goes. Now I'm thinking, this is good. I could really like this guy. Sure, 15 bucks may seem like chump change today, but that's a full tank of gas for my 1987 Nissan Sentra and a meal deal at somebody's fast food restaurant. It's Thursday. We talk a couple of hours and make a date for the next Friday. We'll do dinner at Red Lobster and then head over to my cousin Roxy's apartment. She lives just 5 minutes away for a card party, afterwards. And then it's Friday. After working my day shift at McDonald's, it's time to get ready for my date. It's the perfect beginning of the weekend. A date with my Daniel. Besides, it's been a great week getting to know him so far. Hair, nails, new outfit, check, check, and check. 7 o'clock can't come fast enough. Daniel comes to the door and off we go. He looks great and smells even better. Red Lobster, yummy. Those garlic biscuits are my favorite. I can eat like 5 of them in one sitting. I'll have the Cajun shrimp pasta and he has the shrimp of the day. We're really enjoying each other's company, laughing, talking, and giving each other the I think I like you eyes. I remember thinking how nice this is and that I want to keep it going. After a couple of hours, we leave the restaurant and head to the liquor store to get something to take to Roxy's apartment. I never show up to someone's house without a bottle of wine, dessert, or something. It's just proper. As we approach the door of the apartment, we can hear Tupac playing from the stairs. Roxy loves Tupac. We all do. I introduced Daniel to her and to her fling at the time. Drinks are being consumed and the card party is in full swing. I am so glad Roxy lives next door in the neighboring complex. So when the party is over, we'll be back at my place in less than 5 minutes. Several hours later, we head back to my apartment with baby Shania in tow around 1 a.m. or so. Daniel and I have both had several drinks at Roxy, so I knew he's in no position to drive. After putting the baby in her room, again we talked until about 3:40 in the morning, long enough to sober up and get some sleep, or so I thought. I wear a blue and white flannel gown and white granny panties to bed. Though it had only been a few days, I feel comfortable with him in my home. He's like a protector, the kind of man that when he hugs you, you feel safe in his arms. He seems sincere. You can stay, just turn off the lights and TV before coming to sleep, I say to him as I walk down the hallway going to my bedroom. I don't think anything of it because, well, I don't know why. I just didn't. I just can't wait to go to bed. It's been a long day at work, running around afterwards and then getting ready for our date. Going to Roxy's was the icing on the cake. I hit the bed so hard I can't even remember drifting off to sleep. Totally blindsided. I feel something wet and cool on the bottom of my back. I awaken in a daze to find Daniel licking my lower back near my butt. I turn quickly over, sit up and yell, "What the hell are you doing?" I will never, never forget what he said to me after that. "You're going to give me this pussy," he demands. I can't believe this is happening to me. All I can think is I'm not going to be raped right now with my daughter in the next room. And I did everything right. Why would he want to do this? The power struggle begins. And all I can say is, no, 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 please, please don't do this, as I yell, squirming to keep my panties on. My 5'8", 145-pound frame is no match for his 6'3", 245-pound athletic built body. It's only been a few minutes, but I am losing the power struggle. He puts his hand over my mouth and says, all the shit I've done for you, you're going to give me this pussy, in a demonic voice. It's like it's not even him. Sidebar, I will never forget that voice. I will never forget that voice in my life. It was like he was possessed. Seriously, like something had entered his body and he had no control over what he was doing. It's like this isn't him. His voice is totally different, as if he is possessed. I will never forget it as long as I live. I know in this moment that he had lost his damn mind and that there was a stranger in my house and that I am going to be raped. He looks me in my eyes as he shoves his penis inside me and begins to thrust, raping me. In that moment, I just close my eyes and cry, praying for it to be over soon. I am screaming at the top of my lungs on the inside for help, but no one can hear me. Tears run from my eyes and into my ears as if I am underwater. This is not happening. This is not happening. This is not happening. But the truth is, it is happening. He is inside me for the longest few minutes, which seem like an hour of my life. It's just like in the movies when everything goes in slow motion. Everything around me is muffled. Nothing is clear. He ejaculates inside me, looks in my eyes, and then says, oh my God, what have I done? I scream, you raped me. Get the fuck off me. He jumps off me and literally runs down the hall and out of my apartment, leaving the door to my apartment wide open. I climb out of bed and run into the bathroom to wipe as much of him out of me as possible. I run to the kitchen, grab a knife, and run after him, down the stairs and into the parking lot. Sidebar, I felt like Sybil, or that crazy woman in Fatal Attraction, with a knife when she's sitting on the floor. She has the big knife and she's like stabbing the floor because she done lost her damn mind. When I ran into the parking lot, that's exactly how I felt. I just felt like I was going to lose it. I climb out of bed, run down the stairs into the parking lot. My split-second plan is to stab his tires so he can't run from the police. He'll be forced to face the police, but the rapist, coward, piece of shit is already gone. As I stand there like a mad woman, standing half naked in the parking lot with a knife in my hand, I am in disbelief that this has even happened to me. I was making changes for the better. I mean, I had standards. I was honest with him and wasn't having sex with anyone. He fit the paper-perfect version of what a man should be up until that point. He was supposed to be a nice guy. I go back to my apartment to call 911. My brother lives in the same complex, so I call him and tell him what happened. He comes over and takes my baby home with him. She had no idea what was going on. I thank God she slept through the entire ordeal. Once the police arrive, the investigator takes pictures of my bedroom and I give my statement. Off to the hospital I go with the sergeant. Understand the anger I feel at myself for being so stupid as to trust this man and to have him in my home. Why would I let him sleep over? I mean, I barely knew him, really. I don't know anything about him aside from what he told me. I am so pissed off for allowing him to prey upon me and break my own vow of me time. God, how could I be so gullible? And what would possess him to force himself onto me? He wasn't drunk or high. He was in his right mind, or seemingly. The sergeant and I finally arrived at the hospital after about 40 minutes. They proceeded to do a rape kit, which, by the way, will make you feel like a victim even when you're trying hard not to. The two most uncomfortable parts of that process is how they scalp both sides of your hair near your hairline, then give you a shot and a morning after pill just in case you're pregnant or you may have some STD. And if you all can see always on my hair, this is where they scalp on both sides, and this is where my hair is thin at on both sides. Okay, something that, you know, is a constant reminder. They proceed to do a rape kit. Two most uncomfortable parts is scalping your hair and getting the shots. The thought of either really pisses me off. I thank God for modern medicine, so I never had to find out. Would you like to press charges? Asked the sergeant. Yes, I cried. I don't even have to think about it. How could I not press charges? I can't believe I'm a victim of rape. How demoralizing, how shameful to even say the words, I've been raped. What a violation of everything in me. I can't believe, as smart, strong, and independent as I am, that this is happening to me. I've been doing pretty well, working full-time and taking care of myself and Shania on my own. To make matters more shameful, my mother and godmother came to the emergency room to see me. Who wants to say the words, I've been raped? Friday is a real bad day. There's more to this chapter, but I'm going to end it here because I don't want to hold up any more of your time. And if you request it in the comments below the video, I will do a part 2 and finish this chapter. But I really just wanted to put that out there because it's so important to acknowledge what we've gone through, where we have been through, what shit has happened to make you the way you are today, and also how do you begin to heal that so you can be a happy person. And I mean genuinely happy. I don't mean this fake happiness that people are putting on their faces. How do you get through that? So if you do want to hear the rest of this specific story, chapter 3, bitterness is real, but it ain't sexy, just put your comments below and I will do another video and complete the chapter. Thank you so much. My name is Aprille Franks-Hunt and I am the CEO of Women Recharged.